Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Satisfactory 1.0. My name is Thomas, and this is episode number 7. In today's episode, we are going to be constructing our first power grid here in Satisfactory. It's going to be our first big build here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So with that said, let's get started with today's episode. All right, so the first thing we need to do is unlock the base building for the milestone in the hub. So let's go tackle that first. And we need about, 52 concrete. And I think I do have that in the inventory. No, I do not. We are automating that, but it's kind of a bit further over there. So let's turn the limestone that I have in my inventory into the concrete so that we can free up some space in the inventory here. So I'm going to quickly do this real quick. I think this should turn out to be perfectly amount of crafted concrete. So we shouldn't have any limestone left over. Yes, take a look at that. Beautiful. So we have 50. Let's insert that into the MAM. Or the MAM, not the MAM, the hub. The MAM is something we'll get into here in a few episodes. All right, so we need 2 more concrete. So just shy there. So I'm going to head over and grab some concrete. We're going to need a bunch of it. I also scoped it out, the location on the map, on how I'm going to go about building the power base. And we're going to be placing foundation. We're going to do a sky factory. And it's a new strategy I'm going to implement in my second run through in Satisfactory. And I think it's going to work out a whole lot better than what I did in update 8. So, as I said, I scouted out the location and I found kind of the highest peak in the Dune Desert. And I'm going to start from that point to build my foundations. And basically, if you build the factory on the map, you're going to run into a lot of headaches. And you're going to get a lot of clipping. It's just going to be a disaster if you build on the map. For at least your first playthrough, if you do a few more, it'll get a bit better. It's still a challenge. But for your first playthrough, for those that are going to play this for the first time, my advice is to build off the map. It's going to make your life so much easier. This game is already complicated, and there's no reason to make it even more complicated by building on the map itself, which is unfortunate. It's a gorgeous map, and I would like to build on the map, but it's just not worth it. It's just better to build a sky factory and just avoid the map altogether. You never have to worry about building your factory on the map ever again. So with that said, I'm going to go enter in the 2 remaining concrete, and we're going to unlock base building.
Milestone reached. Several new structures are now available for improving factory organization. Foundations provide a building grid, which makes it easier to manage placement of any structure. In the event that you are experiencing amnesia for all events prior to planetfall, be reassured that memories of beloved humans and/or animals would have only been distractions from your important mission.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Ada. So where am I going? Well, I'm going to the highest point in the Dune Desert in this location here. So I think if I build a foundation over all of this area over here, it should be enough to build the entire factory. And, hopefully I'm not wrong, but this is a very huge location, and we'll build the factory in the Dune Desert. We don't need to go into any other biomes to build in any other biomes unless it's like power or something like that. We'll bring everything over here and just do one mega factory. And again, just keeping this super easy. You don't want to do what I did last time and do micro bases scattered all around the map. You'll spend hours just running across the map grabbing some components. It's no fun. So we're gonna bring the factory to one location. So when I scouted this location today, I did find a wreckage up there, and we're going to collect the hard drive from there. So what I'm going to do is jump up on this cliff and over that chasm, over that one, and look, a broken part of the capsule, and up we go, and we're just following this all the way up. All right, and take a look at this. We found a rotor, 32 rotors, so I'm going to pick those up. That's a really advanced component. And then here's another advanced component, 13 modular frames. I'm going to grab those. And look, some concrete, 128. I'm going to grab that. And I think that's all that's up here. Oh, look, reinforced iron plates, 37 of those. And some iron plates, 103. We're going to need all this stuff. Ah, wonderful. So you could press E to open the drop pod. All right, so I'm going to open the drop pod, and it says pull handle to open door. You need 5 iron rods to do this. We have 139 in our inventory, so this is a super easy one. I'm going to open this. And we have this wonderful hard drive, contains fix-it data, analyzing the MAM to salvage its content. And so basically this is going to give us recipes.
Damaged hard drive successfully acquired. All pioneers are contractually obliged to preserve and secure any recovered hard drives for future analysis, which may result in benefits to the Fix-It mission. Speculation as to why there are crashed freighters in your Fix-It designated zone is discouraged as specified in your contract.
Yeah, so damaged and crashed freighters, which was probably attached to a hub. And so that leads me to believe that there were other pioneers on this planet that did not make it out. What's that? Gosh, that's a creature. That's a big plasma spitter. Anyways, we're going to analyze their hard drive, and hopefully we can gain some valuable information from it, which is going to be unique recipes, which we're going to really want to use. All right, so now I think this is like the highest point in the Dune Desert in this local area. All right, so what I'm going to do is we have this new tab called Foundation, and I'm actually going to lay down a foundation here. I'm going to use a 1 meter, and then again, I'm going to hold down Control to snap the foundation to the world grid. All right, Control and left click. And there is the beautiful foundation on the world grid. Now, I do want my base foundation to be higher than the crash freighter here, so I'm going to use a 4 meter wall, and I'm going to do 3 high. Copy this foundation, and I'm going to snap it to the very top like that, and then I'm going to delete this. All right. So now this is going to be the base platform for my factory. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press R, and that's going to change the build mode to Zoop. And we can zoop that out like that. Pretty sweet. And so now the issue is, how am I going to get up here? Well, we can do this. You can hold down Control and then drag your mouse to delete several at a time. Now I'm going to head back to the foundation, and I'm going to use the 4 meter ramp to get myself up there. All right, and then I'm going to grab all this, like that. And so now that I'm all the way up here and I'm taking a look around here in the Dune Desert, you could see that this foundation is going to go over pretty much everything in this area. You know, we'll run into some issues over there, but I think we can get the entire factory all in the Dune Desert. So at least the majority of it. And that is going to be the goal. So now the step here is to get the foundation all the way over to the starter factory. And that's what I'm going to do here. And then we could begin to build our first power grid. And this is a huge milestone. This is a pretty big deal in Satisfactory once you get to this point, is building your first power generator base, which is going to last you for quite a while. And I suggest keeping it to the end of the game as backup power. So that means we got to do this correctly here. All right. So great. Now we have the base level for our floating factory. All right. We're just going to avoid the terrain altogether. We really don't want to have to deal with the terrain at all. We just want to focus on building, automating an efficient factory without worrying about the terrain. It's just going to make your life so much easier. Now, it's going to be interesting how to get up here. When we start working up here, we'll find something to work around with. But all right, so now that I have kind of the location I want to start here, I'm going to begin building this out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under the organization tab, and we have this new item called the lookout tower. This is going to give you a really good vantage point of the of your factory. All right, so we're going to stick this right here. And we're going to climb up here so we can see what we're doing. All right, so we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's 4. And there's 5. So we have a 5x5. And I think that's where I'm going to work with to start. You know, this will expand. And so now what I wanted to do, as you can see, I have one foundation outside of the 5x5. So that's what I'm going to do on all of the ends here. So one there, you know, one there. And then I'm going to copy the lookout tower and place one over here. Place one right there. And one right there. So now if I need to get different advantage points, I can do that by jumping on these lookout towers. And this is going to be a whole lot more easier once we unlock the parachute, which we will get to. All right, so now we are ready to build our first major factory. And, you know, this may take a couple episodes, but here we go, everybody. We are ready to construct our first power grid in Satisfactory. Now, let's hope I have all of the recipes. We may need to jump down and grab some. But let's, you know, get started since we're up here. So what I'm going to do is head to the power tab, and I'm going to grab the biomass generator. And I'm going to just start by putting something down. All right, just getting something started. And, you know, I'm going to place that right here. All right, so there's one, and let's say I put another one right there. Uh-oh, our power grid is down. That one's off a bit. That's off by one tile. Let's use the guide to align them, and there you go. Cool, cool. All right, now, as you can see, the biomass generators can accept a conveyor belt, as you can see. Now, in Update H, you actually did not have an ability to feed a conveyor belt into the biomass generator. You had to hand feed the biomass generators, which was pretty bad. But now they added this ability to put belts in there. And no longer do we have to feed these generators. So that's a huge quality of life update in 1.0. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a splitter, and I'm going to center this splitter in the foundation right here. And then one right here, like that. All right, and then I'm going to press 3 for the conveyor belt. I'm going to snap those like that. Let's just route them in like that. Okay, so you can see we have the items coming in, and then now it's time to get over to the other side. I'm going to just climb down, and this is probably the most challenging thing here, is going down ladders. All right, I'm going to press B to turn off the flashlight. And I am going to go up over here on this lookout tower. And yeah, this is better. Okay, cool. Now, we're going to be making, I'll show you here in a little bit. So I'm going to place roughly, I'll place this one here. And I'm going to place another one. Okay, so I'm going to say something like that. Delete this one. And, you know, maybe something like this. Yeah, I think that's going to work. And then I just go in like this and like that. I think this is how I want to do it. Yes, and then I'm going to extend this out here. Let's head over to organization, and I want to place a storage container right there. I'm going to connect this like that. All right, so let me explain what's going on here. Now that you have a view of what's going on, I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. So that you can wrap your mind around what I'm building. All right, so this container here is going to house all of my biomass. So this one in particular, so we have wood and we have leaves. We're going to do one for the leaves and we're going to do one for the wood. So this one is going to be for the leaves. So I'm going to insert the leaves into the container. And as you can see, it is now being pushed into the constructor. Well, we're going to turn these leaves into some biomass leaves. Here we go, biomass leaves. So 120 per minute, that's 10 leaves, and 60 per minute, 5 a second of biomass. I believe that is how it goes, or it gives you 5 biomass. Okay, so the biomass goes into the constructor, and then, the leaves go into the constructor to make biomass, and then the biomass is then created and then turned into solid biofuel. And then the solid biofuel is pushed out and then inserted into the biomass generators. All right, so that's how this is going to work. It's really that simple. So if we take a look, we can see we have the leaves that go in to make biomass, and then the biomass into the constructor to make solid biomass fuel. And then that solid biomass fuel comes out into the generators to produce that power. Now, this is for the leaves, right? Now we want to do the wood. So let's do the wood as well. So I'm going to head over here. And what I'm going to do is just copy exactly what I have here. 1, 2, and a container like this. Let's copy the conveyor belt and route that in like that. And then I'm going to place a biomass generator right there, and we are out of wire. Before we jump down to the factory, let's see if we can craft some up here. So I'm going to place down a crafting bench. That's going to be under special, crafting bench, and here we are. We can make some wires. Oh, very, very nice. And I'm actually going to turn... I'm going to turn the copper ore into some copper ingots. All right, and let's do this. All right, that's done. Now let's go ahead and place down those biomass generators. And so I'm going to place another one here. And one there. Oops. So left click and then snap it in there and snap it in there. Whoops, this is totally wrong. We are not sharing these splitters. So we need to put our own splitters down. Oh, we need some cable. So let's place some cable down. I'm going to go to the crafting bench and turn some of those wires into cable. We're actually going to need a decent amount of cables. So I'm going to turn the rest of those copper ingots into some more wire. First, we need to turn the copper ore into some copper ingots. Cool. All right. All right, so I'm going to copy the splitter and we're going to place our splitters down like this, right in the middle of the foundation. Let's route the conveyor belts like this, and then the biomass generator like this. 25. Wow. So we need a little bit more. We're going to really have to turn the rest of the ores into the copper ingots here. All right, good. That's all of the copper ore into copper ingots. Now let's turn those into wires. All right, there we go. And I think we are all set here. Let me adjust my keyboard. All right, now let's continue where we left off by placing that final biomass generator down right here. Okay, there we are. And so that is the build. Now, this is a bit off. Let me fix this. There we go. So this can easily be expanded way out here, and we will do that in the next episode. We are running out of time here, but I wanted to show you the build. So let's quickly put in our power poles and fire this up and observe what we see, and then we'll end the episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a power pole here, here, and I like to use the center of the foundations or the edge of the foundations where they all meet, all four corners meet, to make this hexagon. I like to place some power poles there, place one there, and then we'll come down here and, you know, for this one, let's just place it here and this one right here. All right, and then I'm gonna head over here and do the same thing. One here, one here, and this is a bit awkward as they're on the other side. So we'll just bring it over here, and I'm going to, oh yeah, that is pretty awkward. Be nice to just go, I got one there. Okay, one there. And I think one, yeah, right here. Okay. And then we do, yeah, it's a bit awkward. So this is where I get really finicky. I wish the power poles are over here, but I think what I'll do is I'll just delete this and place the one right here. And the one right here. That's going to clip in, so I'm going to place the power pole right here. And I'm going to place the one over here so that they match. I'm going to place it, delete this one, and I'm going to place it right here. All right, so now they mirror each other. This one mirrors that power pole over there, and this one over here as well. They mirror each other. Okay, so with that all done, let's begin routing the cables. So we're going to route this one to that one, this power pole to that, and I'm going to connect these two like that. Now let's do this on the other side. So we'll do this one here, this one there, connect them like that. And then now I'm going to take these two, connect them there for now, short term. And then I'm going to do this side real quick. I'm going to connect it to that guy, and then this power pole to that power pole. Now let's route the machines. And let's do the other side. One there, connect it to the machines, connect it to the machines, and we are all routed up, and they're all tied together here. Okay, so now it's time to insert the wood here. We got some wood, and there's the wood, and so let's set this to wood biomass, and then this one is going to be biomass solid biofuel, like that. And then that's going to spit out here. So we have to actually jumpstart this. So I'm going to actually take this wood and insert it into the biomass generator just to get the power running. I'm going to press right mouse button to split this up into 4 separate stacks. We actually only need to have maybe 1 stack to get this going. Let's just sit here and see what happens. Yes, very slowly. And look, the solid biomass. The solid biomass. And so watch this. It gets split up. One goes in there. One goes in there. And now we are generating power. So I can now remove the wood, and the biomass is going to go in there. Excellent. Now we have to set the recipes for these constructors. So this is going to be the biomass, and then this is going to be the solid biomass, and then that's going to be spit out over here. And then that's going to be fed into these biomass generators. And now we are producing power. And so we have a capacity of 60 megawatts, 120. So if we take a look at this, one biomass generator gives me 30, is it 30 megawatts? I think it's 30 megawatts. Yeah, 30 megawatts. So we have a total of 30, 60, 70, 80, 90, and then 120. So we should have 120. Yep, 120 total power at our disposal. Now we can increase this by expanding this a whole lot further out, and we're going to do that. But I wanted to get you started on the initial layout of the biomass generator factory. So here it is. This is what it looks like. And all we have to do now, if we want more power, is just extend the build out like this. And then we can add in more biomass generators. But I'm out of rods, so I'm going to have to head down to the surface. And, you know, power pole is going to go right there. Connect that up. Connect that there. And yeah, so that is how you build your first power grid in Satisfactory, everybody. We will see you in episode number 8, where we will expand this further out to get even more power. And then maybe we'll look into unlocking a few more tiers, get into the MAM, and start setting up a production line for the smart plating. Yeah, that's going to be our next huge project to work with. And we're going to be doing perfect ratios and see if we can be as perfect as we can. So that's going to be a pretty big factory to build. We're going to keep it very simple and minimal. We're not going to do producing a whole bunch of them. We just need to get something started so that we can have a little inventory for us to use to get through the next phases here. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed this little video on how to construct your first power grid in Satisfactory. If you have any comments or questions about it, definitely leave it in the comments. If you thought this video was helpful, definitely hit the like button. And if you'd like to follow future episodes, the best way you can do that is by supporting my channel and subscribing and hitting that bell notification for any newer episodes that are released. You guys have a wonderful day there, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.